We bought a milk cow!
So with everything that's going on with the move and all the other crazy things, I guess we had a lot of extra time on our hands, so we decided to get a milk cow.
Yay!
No, actually, because we are living off grid, we knew we wanted to live self-sufficiently and be able to produce most of our food. And a big portion of both of our diet is dairy products. So I love my yogurt. I eat a lot of yogurt, and you eat a lot of cottage cheese.
Yeah, Ducabors eat a lot of dairy, whether it's butter on everything and cottage cheese and everything.
Yeah,
Sour cream.
same with me. A lot on my diet. So we decided to get a milk cow.
So we bought Heidi, our new Jersey milk cow, from our good friend and neighbor Evelyn. Heidi isn't new to us. The sheep and Mina spent all last summer with Heidi up at Evelyn's, grazing on her beautiful pastures. And then Mina spent the last few months with Heidi and Hank the tank, trying to get pregnant. So yeah, so we were familiar with Heidi already, and she already knew us, which was that I think really helped with the transition. The new part was actually milking a milk cow. Because we've had Mina for 2 years, and she hasn't had a baby yet, so we haven't milked her. But Heidi was already in milk, so it was just jumping right into it. The night we brought her home, we had to milk her. So it was, yeah, it's been quite the learning curve.
Yeah, one of the things that we don't realize is how big she is and how strong she is. And sometimes she doesn't try to hurt you, but she like trying to scratch her head. Sometimes she can headbutt quite strongly. A couple of times she threw me off my feet.
Right
But,
from behind.
Yeah, she usually gets you when you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
But we usually do the milking together because it's a lot of work and we don't have a pretty good setup yet. We're building a new stanchion and trying to like incorporate all the lessons that we're learning into it.
Yeah.
That will eventually happen, but right now we have a pretty makeshift setup with just a few panels and
It
then,
works.
Yeah.
Because we move the sheep and cows together on pasture, the stanchion has to be movable as well. So I don't know. And we've gone through a few different iterations of stanchions. So our first stanchion when we moved here, we needed something to milk her that night. So we moved everyone in. It was probably 7 or 8 at night, and we needed something. And so Ras had a great idea. Use the livestock trailer. So yeah, great idea.
It took us like half an hour to get her in there because she didn't want to go back.
Yeah, no one wants to go back into a livestock trailer after just driving one for 8 hours.
Yeah.
But so
it worked.
It did.
Once we got her in there.
We got her in,
Yeah.
and then milked her, and then the next morning, we had the trailer outside of the corral where everyone was in, and we thought, well, she must be hungry. She wants grain, and she's full of milk. So we thought, well, she'll definitely be grain motivated. We'll just guide her into the trailer. So we let her out of the corral so that she was away from everyone else, and thought she'd go right in, but she had way different ideas and took off back into the forest, headed toward the forest.
And
So
that was like the day after. Like
yeah,
we just
the morning
we just got
after,
here,
yeah. So and she's still like on edge, still adjusting to everything, and so we thought for sure she'd be lost in the forest. And the forest here, it's crown land, it just goes. So Ras luckily had his head on his shoulders, and he calmly took the dogs while I had a little mini breakdown. Took the dogs, went, gathered Heidi, walked her home. And you can't halter train her because she has this adorable crooked nose. So she doesn't like the halter. So you have to walk her by just walking or with grain. So they walked her back. We put her in the corral, and then we had to have a little think of what we're gonna do.
It was pretty nerve-wracking for the first 5 minutes because I couldn't see her, but the dogs had picked up where she went, and We never trained them for that, but
No.
they just clued in that we were looking for Heidi. I don't know how, but they just traced her I found her maybe about a couple of kilometers from here.
Yeah.
And then once we got there, we slowly walked her back. And
She was
everything.
pretty good when she got walking. Yeah, she just kind of fine. Okay.
She was like, okay, I guess I'm here now. Yeah.
But yeah, so the next time that evening, we ended up kicking the sheep out of the corral into their first pasture, and then put the trailer into the corral, so at least we didn't have to pull Heidi out of it. So Heidi was contained. But even then, it was a struggle to get her in, and we adjusted the ramp levels, we adjusted everything. And after 3 days or something, we just gave up with that, and we figured once we moved the cows in with the sheep and started moving everyone on pasture, we came up with the idea using livestock panels, and it works pretty good.
Yeah.
We've learned a lot of lessons with milking. You know, don't milk too late because the flies are out, and then if you don't spray her, then she gets very agitated and she doesn't stand still. So she throws your milk bucket around and she's pulling out cables and wires.
Yeah.
So,
Mornings are much easier usually.
Yeah,
so we have to do the milking really early in the mornings, and then that way we'll be able to do that second milking earlier in the evening before the flies come out. So that's,
another lesson we learned too was with grain. So Evelyn, who used to own Heidi, said just give her lots of grain while you're milking her. Okay, so the first morning we're milking her, I keep filling her food dish. We thought we had to distract her the entire time that you're milking. So we keep filling, and I dumped like half a 20-kilogram bag of grain trying to keep her distracted. So the first 2 or 3 days, we went through 2 20-kilogram bags of grain. And we're like,
looking at the cost. And
this fresh milk, I don't think it's worth this amount. But then we figured out all you need is a little bit, like 2 or 3 yogurt containers full of grain to get her in there and get her, munching. And then once you start milking, she calms down and she gets in the routine. But
I think we misinterpreted what she meant.
Yeah, lots of grain. That was fun.
Yeah. And for the actual milking part, right away we started using a milking machine, because even though we try milking by hand and it's fine, it works well, but the biggest problem is if she that's me now. If she gets agitated and starts to kick around, or if something happens, there's debris falling into the milk, and we really wanted to keep the milk clean because we also sharing it with our close family here, and it just makes the whole process to go much smoother. So a milking setup, they're actually pretty reasonable, and they work off of a small compressor which we can run off a battery, and the battery can run for hours and hours, and the little compressor just pushes a little bit of air and sucks the milk out slowly, and it works
really well. Yeah.
It's usually at first it's a little tricky getting those on
and suctioned.
They get a good suction on it, but once you get a suction on it, it goes pretty smoothly. However, I guess you found that leaving it alone sometimes doesn't work.
No, sometimes at first it does when she's full, and then after maybe like 10 minutes, and we find that you actually have to do the milking action.
Yeah.
And you get a lot faster. You could leave it; it would just take a lot longer. But I find when you actually do the milking action, she milks out way faster. So we've been very, very lucky to have family around with the skills to be able to make things with this beautiful milk. In particular, my mom and my Tota Wasunya, my Auntie Wendy, they've been spoiling us. They've been making tons of yogurt, buttermilks, butter. Oh my God, so good.
So good. Yeah.
What else? Cheeses. Yeah, they made a soft farmer's cheese, cottage cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, you name it, they've been making it. And they've also been incorporating it into a lot of their baking. So we've been getting a lot of really delicious Doukhobor foods like blini or crepes made with the fresh milk, and everything. And so it's been beautiful, and we've been able to share it with family, and everyone's been enjoying. They're always impressed by the color, because the color of her milk is so yellow. It makes the butter just it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're so spoiled and so lucky that we have people that actually have the skills and willingness to do this all for us. So
we haven't been eating this good for years.
Oh my God,
this is the best we've ever. There's like so much great food that I just can't believe it.
Yeah,
It's
we're
amazing.
very lucky.
Very thankful.
And learning, and we're
Very
also learning from them. So we are so interested and can't wait to learn how to make again, how to relearn how to make the yogurts and all the dairy products. So mom's making mozzarella cheese.
Right.
So that'll be really fun to learn.
Also, an update on the projects that are going on the farm. So the latest project that we just finished is we were able to put up a fabric shelter. It's a 20 feet by 30 feet shelter. I purchased this just as we were getting ready to move here, and it comes in a great big box, all enclosed, and all the pieces are in it. So it's all meant to go together pretty smooth, and it was pretty good. I mean, I definitely wouldn't have been able to do it by myself. It was like your family came to help. So
It took 4 of us to put the fabric over the.
Thank you again so much for watching another update from us. Definitely stay tuned. We'll have a lot more to share next week, and we're gonna start to put in more about what we're seeing here with the animals and the plants. Definitely want to get some sort of format going with the videos. So if you have any suggestions, please let us know in the comments, like what kind of things you want to hear about. What kind of stories do you want us to tell you? Like, so much happening.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's like so many cool insects, there's so many cool plants,
Animals.
wildlife. Yeah, there's like so much, and it's just like constantly blown away what we see. So please just stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Mouth of where Champion Creek hits the Columbia.
It's really nice.
Nice and warm. It's warmer than our hose at camp. Which is what we